with breaking news happening now. This is Wave News.
Breaking this morning, longtime civil rights activist Reverend Jesse Jackson has died. His family said he died this morning peacefully surrounded by his loved ones. The Baptist minister rose to prominence in the civil rights era, participating in demonstrations alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Jackson was also a two-time presidential candidate, and he visited Louisville multiple times, including following Muhammad Ali's passing in 2016 and during the protests for Breonna Taylor in 2020. A cause of death was not immediately given. Jackson revealed he had Parkinson's in 2017. He was 84 years old.
And we'll follow that story throughout the day. Plus, we've got to get through the foggy morning that we have so far today on this Tuesday.
Patches of fog.
Yeah, patches of fog. Thankfully, not as bad as yesterday. And because of that, we're getting sunrises like this right now on our SkyTrack camera in Starlight, Indiana. And you have those mid to upper level clouds overhead, that light reflecting off of them, making for a beautiful sight. But of course, we're also watching some of that patchy fog anywhere from portions of Grayson County through Hardin County north towards Seymour, seeing some of these patches of lower visibility. The good news is as we head towards 8, 9 o'clock, this fog is going to be mixing out, leaving behind some quiet conditions for the rest of the day. We're in the 30s and 40s right now. We'll end up in the 50s and low 60s for later on this afternoon as we add in a lot more clouds overhead. Olivia?
Thanks, Tawana. New this morning, we've learned the name of an 18-year-old who was shot and killed in a Louisville park last night. Police say 18-year-old Tayshawn Brown was shot at Warren Walker Park near Gatehouse Road around 7:30 last night. Officers found him at the park's gazebo. So far, no arrests have been made in the case.
This morning, Metro Offices of Violence Prevention is trying to reach people who have survived shootings in the last few years. The city has partnered with Maryhurst Renewal to try to reach victims who are still experiencing trauma. Those include people who have survived gun violence or who are grieving someone lost to gun violence. We spoke with a woman who survived being shot in 2024. She since received support from a mentor as she recovers from the emotional damage caused when she was hurt.
Mentally and emotionally, I wasn't ready when I did go. I felt like I did kind of push myself a little too much because after the shooting, I was not there as much mentally. And I felt like during that time, I thought me going to school would make me feel better.
Metro data shows from 2020 through 2025, 899 people were killed and 2,700 wounded by gun violence in Louisville.
A railroad crossing is back open in Jeffersonville after police say someone was hit by a train there last night. Police say it happened on Sodrell Drive near National Avenue around 8 o'clock Monday night. Officers don't believe there's a threat to public safety. They've not released any details about the victim's injuries.
In the past 30 minutes, Kentucky State Police reopened parts of the Bluegrass Parkway after a semi-truck crash closed it for hours. Troopers say it happened about 9:30 last night near the 7-mile marker. Investigators say both trucks spilled diesel fuel on the road, which is a cause of the closure of the westbound lanes for more than 8 hours. The crash happened when state police say a tractor trailer tried to make an illegal U-turn using an emergency lane, and that's when police say he hit a second semi. The driver who made the U-turn suffered minor injuries but is expected to survive. The other driver was not hurt. Police have not said if charges will be filed.
Lawyers for the former leader of the Urban League want a new trial after a judge declared a mistrial for a lawsuit filed by Kishkumi Price. A mistrial was declared after the jury was split. Price was suing the Louisville Urban League after it fired her only 5 months after hiring her. Price says she was fired because the league didn't want to hear about conflict of interest or other financial improprieties. The Urban League's lawyers say there's no evidence of any financial improprieties. Price's attorney told us he's hoping to take this case back to court.
We never went into this thinking this was going to be easy. There's no point in taking the case to trial if it's going to be easy. So we're just going to regroup and sleep on it and just get back to work.
So it is a drain to have to continue to do this over and over again and to constantly be bombarded with the questions and the false accusations and all of the like.
A civil trial in Kentucky needs 9 of 12 jurors to agree on a verdict in order to avoid a mistrial like in this case.
A stepmother is being accused of helping her stepchild, who is charged with murder in connection to a deadly PRP shooting. 51-year-old Jill Brooks is charged with hindering prosecution or apprehension and making a false report. Officers say her 17-year-old stepson was part of a revenge plot that led to 20-year-old Milton Ritchie being shot and killed on Fort Haven Road in December. Court documents say that the teen sent Brooks a message saying, quote, "I did it," and then asked her to burn his clothes and report him missing to police. Officers say those messages indicated Brooks agreed and then told the teen to erase them. During her arraignment, she entered a plea of not guilty, and the judge set a bond of $50,000 full cash. She's due back in court March 6. Some JCPS employees are expressing their thoughts after the Board of Education approved organizational changes to the district Friday night.
JCPS estimates the district will save about $30 million thanks to those cuts. Some say savings, though, will come at the expense of school safety. Safety administrators say they were told all school safety administrator positions would be eliminated. Currently, there's at least one safety administrator per JCPS school, some having more than one. Part of that job includes school-specific threat assessment and managing weapon detection systems. One administrator says they also build healthy relationships with students, and that can prevent problems from developing at schools.
If it is, say, an assistant principal or principal that are trying to handle that, they're going to end up having to give up something else. Time helping teachers be better teachers, time with discipline, other things that they have to do.
School administrators have been told they can apply for a new position called the Risk Assessment Coordinator. That person's job will focus on safety at multiple schools instead of just one. They said they'll mostly be working on weapon detection systems. That position change would also mean a $30,000 pay cut.
Some Kentucky schools are concerned about the large number of days they have missed following last month's winter storm. Two bills could provide some flexibility. House Bill 631 would allow districts to take another 10 NTI days, and House Bill 635 permits a school board to amend its calendar, adding time to the end of school days to reach the required number of classroom hours. Rockcastle County Schools says they've used up most of their 10 NTI days, and they hope to make up the time lost.
Being an educator and knowing how valuable it is to have students in our classrooms, to me, I feel like that's the best option. Allow us to go just a little bit extra time during the day to make up those missed school days.
And these bills have emergency clauses. That means they will take effect once they do become law. The bills were filed last week, but they have not been assigned yet to committees. Still to come, tragedy in Indiana. A police officer is dead and another injured after a shooting Monday night.
We'll tell you more about the arrest of a suspect and the community tip that led authorities to him.
This morning, movie fans are mourning the passing of longtime actor Robert Duvall. A statement sent by Duvall's public relations agency said he died peacefully at his Virginia home Sunday. The Oscar winner had an acclaimed career spanning 6 decades with roles in movies like The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, and To Kill a Mockingbird. He was 95 years old.
An Indiana police officer has died and another was injured in a shooting Monday evening while responding to a call. The gunfire erupted close to Beech Grove High School in Beech Grove, Indiana. Officers responded to the area for a reported domestic disturbance when shots were fired. Officials say Officer Brian Elliott died after he was shot. He was 33 years old and a 2-year veteran of the department. The second officer, whose name hasn't been released, was also injured. Authorities say that officer is in stable condition and is expected to survive. Authorities say they've arrested 47-year-old Kenneth Johnson. They found Johnson after someone reported him inside a laundry room at an apartment complex in the area. Police say Johnson is the only person wanted in connection to the incident. 3 people are dead. Another 3 are in the hospital after a mass shooting at a Rhode Island ice rink. This happened during a hockey game that was being played in the arena in Pawtucket. Investigators think this was a case of domestic violence and added the gunman died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A spokesperson for one of the schools involved in the game said the shooting may have involved a parent of one of the students. One woman in the crowd described the heartbreaking aftermath.
Really torn up. Many were hugging their parents, rightfully so. You could see some of the parents watching the players kind of roam and could feel and ask them, how are you doing? And you could see the tears starting to come down and the parents hugging their kids.
The 3 people hurt are still in critical care. Law enforcement has not given any new details about how exactly that shooting played out.
The Food and Drug Administration is extending a peanut butter recall. More than 22,000 affected single-serve products were distributed to 40 states. Pieces of blue plastic were found in a filter at the facility where they're made. They include both peanut butter packets and small cups containing peanut butter and jelly. The products were produced by Ventura Foods and sold to distributors, mostly under private label brands. 7:12 right now, and if you are heading out, I didn't even take a jacket today. Crazy.
Oh, I did, but I always grab one as I walk out the door.
Same.
So,
It's mainly for in here, though.
Right, it's always so cold in our building. So, yeah, I go with my blanket, though.
Yeah, so for those of you heading out this morning, we are seeing some chilly temperatures, but warmer than yesterday, and then we're also seeing some more of that fog. Now, we still have high pressure in control, and with it off towards our east, we're getting that southerly wind across the region as well. So with all that going on, we're in addition watching some mid to upper level clouds streaming overhead, and these are making for some pretty sunrises. Now, we are continuing to watch some areas of fog, and I wanted to show you this because this is a really cool shot. You can certainly see downtown Louisville, but right above the Ohio River, yeah, that's where we have that blanket of fog going on as of right now. Seeing that fog showing up on the camera in Carroll County, but then some cool sunrises showing up in Grayson, Breckenridge, and even into Adair County. So the fog is patchy. It's not widespread, but certainly something that you still want to make sure that you're aware of as we head over basically the next 2 hours. We'll see improvements in visibility. Temperatures right now range from 32 degrees for those of you in Madison and E-Town to 43 in the Bedford and Campbellsville, 36 right now at the airport in Louisville. Over the next 12 hours, we'll return to those 50s and low 60s for afternoon highs. So certainly looking warmer as we watch more clouds moving in for the second half of the day. Then for tonight, still a lot of these clouds around, temperatures falling down into the 50s for your lows. Then we roll into tomorrow. This is when we are going to be seeing those temperatures jumping into the mid to upper 60s for your highs. This will be despite the fact that we see light rain chances for your Wednesday morning. This is just going to be a quick in and out system that just passes by, bringing us that light rain by your Wednesday afternoon. We see some more sunshine through those clouds. It will be windy tomorrow as well, with some of these gusts near 30 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. That is part of the reason why we're looking at that warmth in the forecast for your Wednesday. Then we roll into Thursday. We're talking about that potential for scattered showers and thunderstorms as early as Thursday morning. But in terms of our severe threat, that really ramps up for the afternoon and evening as the cold front itself finally starts to move through. Already have a slight risk of severe weather in place across the region as we watch for those Thursday storms. Shannon.
Thank you. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says they have cleared all members of the Guthrie family as suspects in the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. The mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie has not been seen since January 31st. The sheriff says suggesting the family members as suspects is wrong and also cruel. Investigators say DNA results from a glove found near the scene of the crime should be coming back soon, and President Trump has said that Guthrie's kidnappers or kidnapper will face the death penalty if she is found dead.
Minnesota investigators say the FBI is now blocking them from accessing case files related to Alex Pretty's shooting death by a federal agent. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension superintendent says the FBI would not provide local investigators access to information or evidence. It comes a week after federal authorities agreed to a joint investigation with the Bureau. Pretty was shot and killed during a protest against immigration enforcement last month. The superintendent calls the move unprecedented and concerning.
The whole goal of any investigation is to get to the full truth as to what occurred. And when we're in a situation where there's evidence that could be shared with us and it's not, that's concerning.
The Bureau was also shut out of files involving 2 other recent shootings by federal agents in Minneapolis.
The Wave troubleshooters investigation into improper electrical fixes at the New Albany Housing Authority has gotten congressional attention. The troubleshooters interviewed a maintenance worker who blew the whistle on wiring repairs meant to fool HUD inspectors. At 5 apartments where the troubleshooters were allowed inside, we found the improper wiring, which an expert described as a shock and fire hazard. Congress was holding a hearing on the government's oversight of public housing authorities last week. That's when Nebraska Congressman Mike Flood asked about Wave News' story to an Indiana Deputy Attorney General responsible for protecting homeowners.
We are hearing concerns that the New Albany Housing Authority instructed maintenance workers to do shoddy fixes in an attempt to actively mislead inspectors. Can you commit to having your office look into these allegations?
Congressman, I would very much appreciate if you would share that information with us, and we'd be happy to correspond with you about that.
We reached out to the Attorney General's office to see if it opened an investigation into our findings. The New Albany Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners will meet on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Dozens of vacant positions will be up for grabs during this year's Louisville Metro Government Career Fair. It's going to take place on March 10th at Louisville Slugger Field. There are about 5 dozen openings across 25 departments, everything from corrections to parks and rec and the zoo. You can speak to hiring managers from all Metro governments right there and apply for positions on site. There are a wide range of skills and interests and all levels of experience and education. And if you go, you're encouraged to bring your resume with you. And still ahead, they're getting already ready for the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs.
We'll show you some of the upgrades coming to the track before the first Saturday in May.
Well, get ready. Today's Mardi Gras, also known as Fat Tuesday. It's a celebration the day before the Lenten season.
And there are parties happening right here in Louisville. You don't have to go all the way to New Orleans, including the 8th annual Beignet Bash. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote is at Old Louisville Brewery with a taste of what's to come.
I am getting into the Mardi Gras spirit. I got the mask, I got the beads, and we have all the fun colors. I am here with David and Steven, and we are pouring up some hurricanes already too. And tell me a little bit about what this drink is.
Yeah, so this is a hurricane, which is New Orleans' famous favorite, and we have two of our rums on here.
Mixed with Pat O'Brien's like kind of famous hurricane mix.
Wonderful. And so this is going to be one of the drinks that's, on tap for tonight.
Correct.
And proceeds from it are going to benefit a nonprofit as well. Can you tell me a little about that?
Correct. They're going to benefit Mattingly Edge, as are all of the beignet sales, king cake sales, and all tips from the bartenders they're donating tonight. Mattingly Edge is an organization that provides direct support to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in the areas of work, home, and relationships.
Oh, wonderful. And so it's the 8th annual Beignet Bash. And David, for the last 8 years, you have had a pretty fun job, if you will, making beignets. Tell me about that role.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So we have our fryers back there, and we roll out the dough and we throw it in and add some powdered sugar, and it's so good.
I think it's important to note that it's Café du Monde beignets.
Café du Monde.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't get more real than that, does it?
No.
Right from New Orleans itself.
Exactly.
And you've been to New Orleans several times, been to Mardi Gras. Any inspiration for the event from being in Mardi Gras?
I mean, I think all of it. I think it's being loud, being excessive. We're going to have the parades from New Orleans on the TVs. We're going to have the jazz music going. It's going to be a lot.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And it's all for a good cause too. It's like it's partying for a good cause. What does it mean to be able to give back but have a good time? We'll do it.
Well, I think that, if you look at the back of this right here, our slogan is community on tap. And I think that this event encapsulates that,
Absolutely.
So just being an active participant in the community, I think is very important.
Absolutely. And details for tonight, what time does the event start and end and all that good stuff?
It goes from 5 to 9-ish.
Ish.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Whenever we feel like closing it down.
I love it. And then 21 and older, or can anyone come?
Anyone can come.
Wonderful.
And that's not just today, that's anytime at the Old Louisville Brewery. Anybody can come.
I love it. Definitely don't want to miss out on all the fun treats that are going to be here at the Old Louisville Brewery tonight for the Beignet Bash. Back to you.
Thank you, Kirsten. Also today begins the Lunar New Year. And this year is the year of the horse. The horse is one of 12 Chinese zodiac signs represented by animals in the Lunar New Year calendar cycle. Billions of people worldwide are expected to celebrate the 15-day Spring Festival. It is widely considered the most important event of the year in China and Chinese communities around the world. And a few common traditions include a big dinner with family, cash gifts and red packets for kids, and deep cleaning the home, too, to get rid of the bad luck from the past year. Sounds good. First responders in southern Indiana succeeded in a unique weekend rescue.
Take a look at this. Just after 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon, Floyd Knobs professional firefighters rushed to a property off Highway 150 where a horse was stuck in a muddy pond. When they got there, they said the animal was exhausted and struggling to gain footing in the slush. Firefighters were able to use a special rope system to guide it out of the mess. They say the horse was not hurt and has since been reunited with its owners. Well, it's almost time for one of the best times of the year right here in Louisville.
Yeah, the Kentucky Derby Festival events are coming up soon with the Derby to follow, and they're already getting ready at Churchill Downs. The big board is being updated with some new monitors. The board debuted in 2014. It was touted as the world's largest 4K video board. Now they're switching it out to having 8K monitors. And, you can't really tell from far away, but that board is the size of 3 NBA basketball courts. So it is massive. Wave is your official Kentucky Derby station. And look at this, just 74 days away to the 152nd Kentucky Derby. And so stay with Wave as we bring you coverage of all the exciting events leading up to the most exciting 2 minutes in sports.
We'll be right back.
This Wave News update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. New this morning, we have learned the name of an 18-year-old who was shot and killed in a Louisville park last night. The coroner identified the victim as 18-year-old Tashawn Brown. Police say he was shot at Warren Walker Park near Gatehouse Road about 7:30 last night. Officers found him shot at the park's gazebo. Police have not said what led to the shooting, and they have not made any arrests in the case. Let's go to meteorologist Tawana Andrew and more of that fog today.
Yeah, we're seeing some of those areas of patchy fog, not as widespread as yesterday. We're also watching some of these mid to upper level clouds streaming in. You can certainly see those clouds showing up on many of our Kentucky Mesonet cameras, but you could also see that fog showing up in some spots as well. It is patchy, but it's certainly there. So as you're heading out this morning, make sure you are staying extra weather aware and traveling slowly through those foggy areas. Also keep an eye out for those kids at the bus stops this morning. Your temperatures are in the 30s and low 40s to start off the day. With the help of some of the morning sunshine plus southerly wind, we are going to climb into the 50s and low 60s for highs, but we will add in more of these clouds throughout the morning hours and into the afternoon. Keeping an eye on your roads this morning, our interstates are looking pretty good. However, we are watching one crash. This is going to be right there on Oak Street at South 15th. No word on any injuries on this, but certainly going to be keeping an eye on it throughout the rest of the morning. Your 10-day shows this. We are going to be dealing with a couple of spotty showers around for your Wednesday morning. A better chance for some showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, and some of those PM showers and storms could be on the stronger side, which is why the alert day is in place for the second half of your Thursday. Friday, as of right now, our quiet day before we add back in some rain chances for the beginning of the weekend, and we'll see much cooler temperatures through the beginning of next week.
Good morning, and thanks so much for staying with us here for Sunrise Extra. I'm Olivia Russell. We have a lot to get to today. We have some of our top headlines, and then we're even going to have an interview talking about a special gala coming up and an auction that you can join in. I can tell you I was already scrolling through the website. Plenty of good things up for grabs, and it's all going to a great cause. But first, I want to start with our breaking news this morning. We've learned longtime civil rights activist Reverend Jesse Jackson has died. His family said he died this morning peacefully surrounded by his loved ones. The Baptist minister rose to prominence in the civil rights era, participating in demonstrations alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was also a two-time presidential candidate. He visited Louisville following Muhammad Ali's passing in 2016 and during the protests for Breonna Taylor in 2020. The cause of death was not immediately given. Jackson, though, revealed he had Parkinson's in 2017. He was 84 years old, and we'll continue to follow that story throughout the day here on WAVE. Jurors continue to hear prosecutors' case against Isaiah Page related to the death of 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach. He was an innocent bystander and was killed, and 2 others were hurt in the 2024 Harvest Homecoming shooting. On Monday, much of the focus was on phone records and other digital media evidence, with the jury not present for this. For about an hour, the prosecution presented evidence, including text messages from Isaiah Page's phone, and some saying he needed to lay low. Prosecutors also say digital forensics from his phone show Google searches of Harvest Homecoming, Glocks and pistols, and Bryce Gerlach Football Memorial in the days after the shooting. Photos and videos were also presented by prosecutors, one of which shows a video from Isaiah Page's phone of a handgun with an extended clip with a rubber band on the bottom. The defense also made a motion regarding a YMCA surveillance video trying to strike witness testimony about a flash that can be seen in it. They argued the prosecution was strategizing a position with their witnesses. Ultimately, Judge Carrie Stiller denied that motion. The trial will continue at 9 o'clock this morning, and we'll have a reporter there in the courtroom following that and giving you the latest here on WAVE. A Louisville woman says she's committed to spending her own time and cash to inspire change at a personal level and for all animals across the metro. She's highlighting some of the most horrific cases and investigations that Metro Animal Control officers confront. WAVE News reporter Julia Richardson talked to her about her mission, which includes convincing elected leaders to set better rules.
If you've been driving around West Louisville recently, you may have seen one of these billboards.
I started the campaign 3 weeks ago. I just thought I'm going to take this into my own hands and do something to raise awareness.
Jenny Brown is the woman behind those boards. Brown says while she's been volunteering with Louisville Metro Animal Services, she's seen dogs in unimaginable conditions.
Horribly underweight, terrible skin problems. You can see they're not being treated for fleas or whatever. Many of them, it's so obvious they have been living in a crate their whole life.
And she's seen dogs chained up outside in all types of weather. Brown and her friends started recording videos and sending them to LMAS.
Life on a chain for a dog is no life at all.
But Brown recently decided to take it a step further, starting a GoFundMe to raise money to put billboards up around Louisville with a number for LMAS's tip line. A spokesperson for LMAS tells me that in 2025, the department received 3,669 calls for animal abuse and neglect. Brown hopes the signs encourage even more people to do the right thing.
It's a call to action to report neglect when you see it.
As of Monday, Brown has put 4 billboards up and is planning for another 3. Including one on I-64. But she's hoping to take legislative action too, both on a local level.
I want to get involved in passing an ordinance in Jefferson County to make it illegal to tether and chain dogs.
And a state level.
Kentucky is ranked the 4th worst state in the country in terms of our animal protection laws. And I think we can do better. And I think we need to do better.
So to report animal abuse, you can contact Louisville Metro Animal Services. That number is 502-473-PETS, or you can call 311 for non-emergencies. We also have more information on the billboard campaign and this story on our website, wave3.com. A pool company owner accused of defrauding customers in several Louisville area communities will have to wait to learn how much time she could spend in prison. Tracy Davenport's sentencing was postponed for March 2nd. She was supposed to appear over Zoom, but couldn't yesterday because of technical issues. She pleaded guilty to theft charges in January. Davenport and employees under her direction convinced clients in Indiana and Kentucky to sign a contract for a pool and pay a large down payment up front. Those pools were never finished, though. Davenport then used the money for purposes other than what was agreed upon. One victim said she needed a pool to help her through health issues, and now she's struggling and out $74,000. This is the message she had for Davenport.
You took a dream that I confided in you, that this was something very personal to me that I've needed and I've wanted And you took my dream and you squashed it. And now I'm trying to recover. And I just pray that God has mercy on your soul.
Part of the plea agreement is that her bond is being used by the court to pay back victims for financial losses from her crimes. Today, Norton Children's Hospital is asking for input on their plans for a new pediatric campus. They'll host a virtual community listening session at 7 o'clock today. Plans are moving forward on the project in J-Town, which includes Norton Children's Hospital, second children's hospital in Kentucky. Norton says it wants feedback on topics such as needed pediatric services, family-centered care, and how the campus can best support children's physical, emotional, and mental well-being. So they'll host that virtual community listening session today at 7 o'clock, and you do have to sign up. It is virtual, but again, registration is necessary. The U.S. Department of Education has delayed garnishing your check if you've defaulted on any student loans, but many are still battling to pay bills and pay off those degrees. Wave News anchor Dawn G sat down with a student advocate who shares tips on how to make ends meet.
There have been a number of changes made to the student loan system that have been very confusing to borrowers.
Jennifer Finetti is a college finance expert with Scholarship Owl, a personalized scholarship matching and management service tool. Finetti points out changes in White House administration, the COVID pandemic, and the dismantling of the U.S. Department of Education have most likely all played a part in the chaos. The latest confusion, the announcement that students with loans in default would face garnishment of their wages starting in January 2026. That quickly changed with news the garnishments would now be on hold again.
The garnishments that were being discussed and that are now on hold would be impacting borrowers that are in default on their loans, that are at least 270 days late in paying on their loans.
President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill plans to start many reforms on July 1st. One of those reforms, implementing major student loan repayment. Finetti believes it's possible those garnishments will also restart then.
If you are somebody who is in default or is late in making your payments on your loans, you need to contact your loan servicer to get your loan into positive status.
If you don't know who holds your student loan, be proactive. Head to studentaid.gov. That is the official U.S. Department of Education website for managing federal student aid.
There are typically two ways that you can get a defaulted loan back into positive status. The first way is by working with your loan servicer to make a reasonable and affordable monthly payment for 9 months straight, consecutively on time.
If you talk to your loan holder and explain your circumstances, you may be able to agree on repayment options that satisfy both of you.
Another option to get your loan back into positive status is to consolidate your loans. Usually with that process, you need to make 3 on-time consecutive payments rather than 9.
Deciding not to pay the loan at all could mean financial self-destruction. Credit bureaus receive that information, which could affect your ability to buy a home, a car, or any other item on your list of dreams. The government can always come back to garnish your wages, tax refunds, or any other government payments.
You're actually hurting yourself because those debts will not go away. And in fact, it's very difficult to get student loan debt discharged during bankruptcy.
So before garnishment begins, the government must send a 30-day notice to your last known address. And that is something certainly you want to keep an eye on. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back talking about a fundraiser for the Ronald McDonald's House. We'll talk with the organizer of the Red Tie Gala and have more on how you can bid to support their organization and the amazing work they do. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us here for Sunrise Extra. Okay, the Ronald McDonald House getting ready for their biggest fundraiser of the year. It's the annual Red Tie Gala. So I'm here with Casey, and this is such a big event that you all are putting together here. We have some of our auction items right in front of us too. Give us a quick rundown of what people can expect for this one.
Yeah, so the Red Tie Gala is our annual fundraising event. It is our biggest fundraising event of the year. So guests that are coming to the gala, they just have the chance to experience a night of celebrating the Ronald McDonald House. We're raising money for families in need so that people have a free place to stay when their child is sick in the hospital. So what we have here is our silent auction. We brought just a few of many items that we have that people can bid on. We have derby hats, we have exclusive rare bourbons, we have some paintings, vacation stays, amazing appliances from GE, our Hometown Heroes sponsor. So there's just so many things to offer, and it all goes for a good cause. Every dollar that we raise goes back into that organization, giving families a free place to stay, meals, a place to lay their head while their children are healing.
And we're taking a look at some of those auction items right in front of us here, especially with that beautiful derby hat, the Old Forester bourbon. We were kind of talking, kind of nervous with that one. You know, you don't want to break some nice bourbon too. And I mean, we've talked about how incredible this mission is too. What does it mean for these families when they come? I mean, they're going through the toughest moments of their lives with sick children. What does it mean for them to be able to have a place to go?
Yeah, so the Ronald McDonald House, we are just here to give them a place to stay, a place to lay their heads, some warm meals. So that is the last thing they have to worry about. I mean, when you're traveling hours away from your home to go to the hospital, go see doctors for your child, the last thing you want to worry about is, holy cow, how am I paying for dinner tonight, or where am I going to sleep tonight? The Ronald McDonald House is here to take that off your plate. So out of all the things you're worrying about, that's one less thing to worry about. We want you to focus on healing your child, being there for your child, and keeping your family together.
And so as we're talking about this, of course, people can go to the gala, but there are other ways that people can help out. I've even went ahead and pulled up the website here. Kind of walk us through this, because people don't have to go to the gala to join in on this silent auction and live auction.
No, yeah. So the silent auction and live auction is often open to anybody to bid on. So starting at 9 a.m. today, our silent auction opens. So you can go online, you can bid on any of these amazing items. Bidding closes this Saturday at 8:15 a.m. If you are interested in bidding on anything from our live auction, we are doing proxy bidding. You would just reach out to me at casey@rmhck.org, and we can put in those proxy bids as well. So there's a ton of options, all given by such generous donors of people here in the community. So we are just so thankful of how generous people have been this year.
Yeah, I mean, look at these donations too, so big, and they're things that I'm like, wow, that would be a great experience, and it's going to a great cause. I mean, up and away in a hot air balloon experience in the Norton Children's hot air balloon. That sounds like fun. What kind of feedback are you getting from people already? Are their eyes lighting up?
Oh yeah, their eyes are lighting up. They are so excited. I mean, there are just so many options. There's something for everybody. So things for families, things for bourbon lovers, things for derby lovers.
Yeah, tickets to Derby for $200 as the starting bid. That would be a good one.
Yeah, so get your bids in now. You have a chance to save a lot of money on these deals if you do some girl math.
Yeah, that's the way we think of it. I mean, even looking at the live auction items too, an experience in Watercolor Florida. I mean, just great opportunities. And again, you've got to thank those people who've donated these to help out too.
Yeah, and like we said, every dollar raised goes back into our organization. So every penny raised, every dollar raised, it goes back to helping families in need. So
that is so awesome. A great mission that you all have, a great event that you all have, some great auction items up for grabs. So, I mean, hey, it's all happening this weekend. How can people join in on the fun?
Yeah, so if you go online to redtiegala26.org, you will see all of our information. You'll be able to bid on those silent auction items. You are able to donate if you would like to donate. But yeah, just log on to redtiegala26.org.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the week. I'm sure a lot of preparation leading up to the big day.
We are so excited though, so thank you.
All right, we'll get you back to work, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Olympics coverage right after this. Well, the Milan Cortina Olympics will come to a close this weekend, but there are still some games that still have to decide the winners. And in tonight's Beyond the Medals, it's teamwork that will lead to a golden dream. So Wave News anchor Jose Zazaya has been showing us some of the ropes of some of these games that will be enjoyed by the athletes over there in Europe. So both the U.S. men's and women's hockey teams are undefeated so far in the game. So of course, we've got to talk about hockey. He learned about what it takes to be a player. So coaches at Kentucky Amateur Ice Hockey Association say they fell in love with playing and watching NHL highlights as kids in their home states and countries. They then pass that passion on to their children. The nonprofit's executive team says they wanted to branch out into the greater Louisville community.
You know, myself, I started at the age of 3. And some of my best friends to this day are the kids I grew up playing hockey with back in Minnesota, where I'm from. They may start in the Learn to Skate program, which is where you learn how to skate before you play hockey. To continue on with that, you know, that's really where the love for the game starts, when they start learning the fundamentals.
So tonight at 11, you'll see Wave News anchor Jose Zazaya giving it his best to try and stay upright on the ice. I'm very curious to see how that turns out for him. But in Italy, the athletes are hungry for medals. Here's a look at what's coming up on Wave News later today. Coverage starts at noon with the men's skiing aerials. The women will then go for gold in the snowboard slope style at 12:45. And finally, the first part of the women's figure skating short program starts at 2:40. You can watch our regular newscast by downloading the Wave Now app on your device. So let's take a look at how Team USA has done so far in the games in terms of medals. After Monday's competitions, the U.S. has 6 gold, 8 silver, and 5 bronze medals. That brings them up to a total of 19. That's going to put them in 3rd place right now. Norway leading the way. Host country Italy is in 2nd. But back here stateside, the Cards are looking to continue their 5-game winning streak tonight against SMU. They will be playing in Dallas for this one. Freshman Michael Brown Jr. has been a big reason why the Cards have been winning so much. He won ACC Player of the Week and Freshman of the Week after averaging 37 points in the Cards' 2 games last week. As for SMU, they rank 8th in the ACC. They're coming into this game after losing to Syracuse on Valentine's Day. The Cards take on the Mustangs in Dallas. That game tonight at 7 o'clock, and you can watch it on ESPN2. Now to UK, they got themselves back into the top 25 very briefly, but they've found themselves back out of the rankings now following their weekend loss to Florida. The loss took the Cats from a tie for 2nd in the SEC to a tie for 3rd, with Arkansas in 2nd and Florida leading the way in 1st. Tonight, they'll have a chance to once again rise up the standings as they host the 17-8 Georgia Bulldogs at Rupp Arena. History is on the side of the Cats for this one, as Kentucky has a record of 31-4 against the Bulldogs in Lexington. Tonight will be a big one for BBN, with tip-off set for 9 o'clock, and that game will be on ESPN. Thanks so much for joining us here for Sunrise Extra. Hope you have a great day and enjoy plenty of Olympics coverage. And make sure you join us back here for Wave Now for your local news.